There is one and only one video game that is globally accepted and respected if you play it, as a matter of fact. Some people will take the piss out of you for playing Call of Duty or Apex Legends or Fortnite, and others will take the piss out of you for playing Roblox and Rocket League, you big baby. However, there is one game that if you play, it's impossible to be taken the piss out of. This video game nowadays is accepted by everybody. Myself, felons in Romania, random people in the sub-Saharan terrains in Africa. Wherever you go, this video game is accepted. And I shouldn't even be saying video game, instead I should be saying game. This game is fully acceptable to play. No matter if you're on a fucking keto diet, if you're on a no electronics challenge, or even if you're on no fap, or whatever bullshit you find yourself on. This game is fully acceptable. From my standards, fully acceptable. And as a matter of fact, I play this video game very, very often. And then just in case you're thinking, is it Agar.io? No, you flipping mug. It's not Agar.io. This video game that I'm talking about, so elaborate, is only played by the most genius of people. Because they understand that if you lose, it's your fault. They understand that there's always a best move. They understand that you must be super focused and relatively intellectual to even understand this game in the first place. It's like Deal or No Deal if you are 3 years old. Except now you're 23 and you're trying to learn something as complex as Deal or No Deal. This thing I'm on about is something as simple as chess. Chess.com. Chess, which has stood for 600 plus years. Chess, which was probably discovered by accident when some random king in a castle accidentally spilled 32 pieces over a random board of 216 of different squares you can make. Just accidentally, I think it's 206 actually. This game is the most tactical game on the planet. And like I said, it teaches you lessons. That's why this game's only for clever people. Because if you're a dumb person, you'll just go, blah, and instantly get checkmated. That's what's going to happen. That's the truth. Whereas intellectual people understand the positional play, understand the opening, middle game and end game. They understand the phases of the game which they go through, and they understand how to compete, at least at their ELO rank, in all of these realms. They understand perhaps how not to get scholar-mated. They understand how not to get completely battered in 5 moves. Unlike you, who just randomly moves pieces. You probably start with the flank pawns, you muppet. Anyway, this game is so fantastic, so elaborate, that I'd actually advise any of you to play it, and I'm just going to tell you the 2 key lessons in a little bit more detail in this video really quickly. The first video that ever did relatively well on my channel is if you lose, it's your fault. Basically, the ultimate lesson on self-accountability. If you lose, somewhere you made a mistake and your opponent didn't. You were too slow and your opponent wasn't and you lost on time. Your positioning wasn't great, your knight was too slow, and therefore you lost. You missed out on the checkmate opportunity and you got checkmated. Maybe you moved your rook off the back rank even though you said you wouldn't and got back rank mated. However you lose, it's 99.9, actually I'd say it's 100% of the time your fault. So, that's the first lesson from chess. The second lesson from chess is there's always a best move to make on the board. It doesn't matter if you're losing and it's mate in 5. There's a best move. And there's also a worse move that puts your king in a position where it can get mated in 1. So you need to find the best move to prolong the game. Maybe they fail on time. Maybe if you're playing online, they disconnect and you win, you take the elo. Or perhaps they miss the entire checkmating sequence that you see, but because you made the best move, you win. And just in case you watched to the end of the video, and I greatly appreciate you for doing so, I want to give you a little bit more value. So I'm going to tell you something I learned very recently. Perhaps I'll make a whole separate video on this a little bit later down the line. In chess, there is something very interesting. If you play a check, the king is the only piece that can move. Nothing can block it. You force a move, and then it's more predictable what you can do. Or in other words, if you get put into a position where you're forced to do things, you are no longer in control. Whereas if you put people in a position where they are forced and have a mandatory obligation to make said move, you're in control, you can calculate, you basically have the game by the scruff of its neck. And as long as you don't let go of that grip and you play solidly, you will win. Just remember that going forward. It's a secret lesson that I'm going to give to you for watching to the end of the video, like an unfiltered, Hamza unfiltered section, secret section. If you watched it here, you deserve to know that, because you clearly have a decent enough attention span, you're clearly quite intellectual. Just remember, forcing moves or forced moves that the opponent has to make because of you are the most powerful moves, and that can translate to real life as well. You just need to learn when and where. Be adaptable, be intellectual, and most of all, try your greatest. Now, if you aren't intellectual, or perhaps you are but you've never tried this game, please go and try this video game. I suggest it to everybody on the planet. Go try the video game. It's literally online. You don't even need to know anybody. You could be 5 years old, completely introverted, homeschooled, and you can still go on chess.com and play a chess game. If you have access to the internet and you're able to watch this video right now, you are able to go play chess.com. You don't need perfect ping, it's not an FPS. You need a solid enough connection where your move counts, where your move doesn't get lost in the random whirlwinds. And hopefully, as long as you don't get in a time scramble, you'll be fine. So please, go out, learn this game, play this game. It's more than just a video game. It is something so valuable. It's life lessons that you will learn playing this game, and I'm not even shitting you. Maybe play less of the video games and more of the chess.com. Even though I said it's a video game, that was more for clicks, and I appreciate your click and you watching all the way to the end, brother. Take care.